Hello, and welcome to the Drugs. Oh, fuck's sake, I've done it again. I did that last week. Hello, hello, and welcome to the We Are the Drugs podcast, season 2, episode number 5. Once again, joined by the usual suspects, Owen and Richie. Gentlemen, how are we?
Oh, good, lads.
Yeah, not about everything.
Good. A little bit of a shorter, quieter episode, I think, this week, boys.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, a bit slightly quieter week than the previous.
Yeah, a little quieter. So yeah, I suppose we've a good few things though. In saying that, we've a good few things that we suppose we need to get to and we need to touch on. Just a big a thanks to loads of people who reached out to us during the week. I think that was probably one of our busier pods. A lot of people listening in. I don't know whether there was people listening in for the first time, but look, as we always say, these are our opinions. We're just three blokes. These are our opinions. We have no connection to the football club officially. Obviously we know people in the football club and we hear things from time to time, and a lot of times we do say them on here and sometimes we don't. But you know, we're completely independent of the football club. We're completely independent of the Ultras group. We're just three fellas who go to watch matches and give our opinions. So, you know, if our opinions annoy people or they agree with them and all that, that's, you know, that it is as it is. So we did get a good few messages though from people saying thanks for talking about it, and you know, sort of certain people echoed the same views as us, and then other people commenting on the Facebook and on Facebook comments and all that. To me personally, or to you, Owen, or to you, Richie, or whatever, some people agree with us and some people don't. But there's no need for anyone to be getting, you know, there's no need for any abuse or anyone to be falling out with anyone over here. These are opinions, and if you have an opinion and you want to express it, send us a message. Let us know if you want us to read out anything during the pod. I'm up for that, and I'm sure yous would be too, lads.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And look as well, like, it's all part of football, isn't it? Opinion. That's what it's all about. We all have different opinions. And that's why it's great. You know what I mean? Imagine we all agreed on the same thing. So,
no, 100%. And I wish all we were doing was actually talking about football and disagreeing with people about this player and Kevin and tactics, and you know, that's great. That's why we started this podcast in the first place. I mean, I have an absolute pain in my face thinking about off the field matters over the last few weeks. It completely dominated everything, and it kind of takes over your life. And I know you, Richie, saying that you were going offline and you're kind of blocking certain football clubs and certain people off social media because you just don't want to be dealing with it. And I kind of feel the same way at the moment. Like, normal life's fucking hard enough without, you know, a load of crap being thrown into the mixer and having to talk about all that stuff constantly. I don't know about yous, but like, anytime I went out anywhere, even going to work, one of the lads was like, "Oh Jesus, were you at that crack up in Dundalk?" You're obviously joking, you know what I mean? I was playing a gig on Saturday night. Met a friend of mine, first thing he says to me was, "Hey, yeah, you made a right balls of that pitch in Dundalk." And I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go, you know. People who have no interest in football, but everyone knows about it. My mum was asking me about it, and normally she asked me about the game, but she didn't. She asked me about the incidents and all that. So it's just a pain in the hole. I hate talking about it.
Yeah, no, I was the same. Again, everybody we met, we were out the weekend, just everybody saying it to you. You know, like, people with no interest in football, but obviously knew what was going on and seeing it in the headlines. But, like, and the online stuff is a load of shit, like, and you're sitting there reading it, and, like, you know the truth, and we all, like, everybody who's there knows the truth. And there's, see lads fucking making stuff up online, and the bullshit coming out of it, it's, like, what's wrong with people? You know, it's just like, people type anything up on Facebook, don't they, or online?
Yeah, it's a cesspit, man. It's just, it's vile. And like, even away from football, just like stuff that's going on in the wider world in general, like fucking social media, my God. And I am guilty of it. I go on and I sometimes can't help myself because I just felt like we were just under attack constantly, and everybody was tarring us all with the same brush. Yous are all scumbags. Yous are all scum. They're all the scummy, and I think I said this to you on, maybe said it last week, but like Drogheda has a bad reputation nationally anyway, and we're under the cosh because there's no investment in the place. There's no jobs in the town. There's just, we haven't got a lot going for us at the moment. I just feel like we're constantly under attack, and then this just gets thrown in on top of it then, and every media outlet and every shitty newspaper in the country was just Drogheda, and it was all negative, like, you know what I mean? We've been looking for a bit of attention, some sort of positive attention on the town for years, and all of a sudden you get a massive wave of attention, but all of it's the most negative attention you could possibly ask for. So it was fucking gutting, like.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I tell you a bad place online. Twitter. X as they call it now.
Right. I don't go on it, Richie. Never go on it.
To be honest, Adam, I know you'd be on it own as well. But I don't know, like, my God, that is serious. Some bad fucking cunts, and that's what it is. It's really bad.
It's very toxic now. I have a load of stuff sort of blocked, and like certain words. So if I put in a certain word and just block, so nothing but that word comes up. So I try and avoid most of it. But yeah, it's just a load of bot accounts and stuff. And
yeah, it's nasty, really. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, I've actually got the word from Doc blocked on Twitter. It's great. So I don't see any of that shit. Well, like, Facebook can be as bad, but I think Facebook's a bit lighter. It's not as vile as Twitter.
Really?
But,
that's mad.
Oh, yeah. And lads just hype. They put up anything, there's no filter.
Right. There used to be, didn't there, until fucking Musk took it over and he got rid of the filter. So you can basically say anything you want now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like I've reported stuff before, like, just blatant racist stuff, and they're like, oh no, it doesn't breach our guidelines and stuff, like.
Yeah, sure, he's a racist prick anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, lads, again, look, where do we start with this, right? I'm going to get this out of the way now, and I probably shouldn't say what I'm going to say, and I don't know whether I will or not, but the tiny bit of leaked footage of Kevin before his interview with LOI TV, I presume it was David Sheehan, because he seems to be the main LOI TV guy there when it's Strada United. But somebody decides to put up camera footage. Is it camera footage? It looks like camera footage of Kevin sort of like, right, again, he's taking the piss. Like, he has a smile on his face and he calls Dundalk a fucking shithole. It's a fucking shithole anyway, and I'm not talking about blah, 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 blah. You know, he says what he wants to talk about and what he doesn't want to talk about before the interview. And I presume that's a regular occurrence. David will say something to him before, right, Kevin, we're going to get going. I'm going to talk about this, that, and the other. And Kevin says to him, no, I don't want to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. You know, I want to talk about this, this, and this. That's normal. That's normal for any interview, I would presume, on camera or even on radio. But how did that make its way onto fucking Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and how did that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know whether it came up on the live feed or not.
I don't think it did, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm not sure. Someone said it did, but then it was actually, I seen it was a Waterford journalist put up the video. And he wasn't the only one, but it's one of the first ones I seen. Yeah, but I did see a lot of other media saying, like, this is the disgrace, that should be deleted, should never be made public, whatever. Now, in fairness, I didn't really disagree with what Kev said either.
No, either would I, but, like, I mean, there's no denying it's not as if he had a big, grumpy, serious head on him saying it. He was smiling and laughing, and it sounded very jovial between him and whoever was stood around.
Yeah. No, it was. Like, in fairness, he was proper stitched up there, wasn't he? Whoever leaked that.
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, could you imagine now the amount of stuff and the amount of conversations offline or off air between managers and journalists, and, like, you know what I mean? Are they going to leak everything that's been said between them? And, like, it was tongue in cheek. Let's be honest. It was. You knew straight away he was, like, taking the piss.
Yeah. Big time.
Like, and he's an emotional lad, Kevin. You know what I mean? He's like, you can see it on his face. The last week has really got to him, and he thought he was having a private conversation or a bit of a joke there with probably lads that he trusted. But I tell you something, if I was him, I'd never give them an interview again. Never. I wouldn't go near them lads again.
I'm thinking the same thing. He'd be well within his rights to turn around now. And I know there's always some sort of licensing or some sort of agreement that the manager will do an interview before and after the game. Like, I know that there's that crack in the UK with Sky and all that. And sometimes when managers don't come out, they get in trouble with the FA and all that kind of stuff. I don't know whether it's the same here, but he's well within his rights now to turn around and go, I'm not fucking speaking to you, cunts.
Yeah. And you know what? I think every other manager in the league should back him up as well. Because it could have easily been one of them.
Yeah, can you imagine some of the shit that, like, the likes of Alan Reynolds and that would come out with? Because, I mean, he's a contrary git anyway. Like, I mean, he's bad enough on camera. But I'm just imagining and I'm not just singling out Reynolds, but I'd say some of the stuff that's said, you know what I mean? They talk like we do. Like, they're normal people with emotions, and I'm sure they say, that was a fucking terrible game, them bastards, blah, 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 blah. And then you get them on camera, they get all, the lot of decorum kicks in then, and they're like, oh, it was a tough old game, and blah, blah, blah. Like, they put on the camera head and the camera voice, you know what I mean? But, look, I was disgusted. I was absolutely disgusted. I just thought that just adding fuel to the fire now, whoever put that up, like, fucking hell, like, how much more do we need?
Yeah, and it was obviously somebody from League of Ireland TV, obviously, because it's their footage. It was their interview that was about to begin.
Well, I will say, and I didn't know whether I was going to say it or not, but there is one fucking guy who does camera in United Park every week, and guess where he's from?
Go on.
Have a guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Up the road, yeah.
Yes, absolutely up the road, and he does a podcast as well, a YouTube podcast after the games. Now, I'm not accusing him because I don't know, but I just found it very, very, very interesting. I was like, oh right, okay. But look, I'm sure we'll never know. And I have to say, there was no statement from the club, and Kevin hasn't come out and said a word. And I think that was the absolute right thing to do, because all we would have done is drag more attention to ourselves.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, in fairness now, I think he's after making himself even more of a hero to the Drogheda fans. What he said. The lads were loving it really well. Well, look, it was definitely a tongue-in-cheek moment. It's like, what's wrong that we can't have a joke now? You know what I mean? And all has to be proper conversations. He was having a joke.
Yeah, look, it just adds more fuel to the fire with that rivalry now, and that's not getting any less heated over the remainder of the season, because I suppose we might as well get to it now with the punishment for destroying the pitch in Craptown. It has been meted out, so it's a 4-game ban, and then banned from the next game in Oriel as well. So 5 games and a €15,000 fine. And we're also covering the costs of the damage down there, whatever that was. I mean, there's a lot of shite going around. It's 70 grand and 80 grand and 90 grand. And we're all of the opinion, because we were told it by various people, as nowhere near that.
Yeah. But you know what? It's just, I was actually surprised by the punishment. I thought it'd be more of a fine and less of an away ban. You know, I thought 15,000. Right, I'm not sure. Like, it's 15,000, it's 15,000. But I just thought I was expecting there enough to be a 30 or 40,000 fine, or maybe a 1-match ban or a 2-match ban. But I think the 4-match ban, like, I think it's a bit extreme.
5-match, Richie.
Well, yeah. Look, I'll be honest. I'm actually delighted we're banned from down there.
Yeah, that's not a punishment. That's a reward. Like,
that's it. Oh, yeah. I am, lads, because as you said there, this rivalry's gone out of hand. It's pure toxic now. It's hatred, and it's not even it's not even from the fans. Like, it's from like the journalists and people on social media, as we spoke about already. They're firing it up so they are, and it's becoming so hated. Like, I don't want to go back to the other place, and I hope they ban us next season again. I'd be quite happy. I'd quite happily never step foot in Oriel Park again. And
yeah, if they get relegated, we won't have to worry about it.
Bit of luck going,
yeah. And look, lads, I mean, we have the elephant in the room here as well is that they have to come down here twice. And do the powers that be think that, there's only ever trouble when we go down there? Like, I mean, there's potential for absolute murders the next time they come down here. And I can imagine that them games will be switched to a Sunday 1 o'clock kickoff or something like that, just to avoid any trouble. But even then, just with the amount of animosity and sort of hatred that's been stoked over the last while, I'm dreading them 2 games now. On the pitch, great, I can't wait for them. But just the idea that, Dundalk are all going to come down here and they're going to come down, 500 of them. I think we give them 500 tickets and they're all going to be just kind of, corralled in and out of the ground. It's not that kind of league and it's not that kind of ground. I mean, Dundalk people know this town really, really well. Like, it's, there's potential there for a load of trouble if this kind of, as I said, if the animosity keeps getting stoked between the 2 sets of supporters. What's going to happen when they come down here?
Yeah. I'll let you take that one on.
Yeah, it's like, are we going to see the heaviest police presence at a game, a Garda presence in a long, long time, I'd say. But that, you have an example, like, say, look what happened at the train station in Dundalk. Could easily happen in Drogheda, the next fixture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And come here, lads, like, would the cops be able to this? Like, say, no way fans of this game, it's too high of a risk. Well,
yeah, they would.
Like, so,
they can dictate, like, kick-off times as well and stuff. And
yeah, I can see them getting involved the next time.
That's sad. Yeah, that's just sad.
It is. And then as well, plus, like, obviously where the ground is, like, we see it, like, I'm sure like you see it. There's always a crew hanging around, isn't there, outside the ground that doesn't be at the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're there. There's a gang in there Friday, thumping the head off each other.
What's that, yeah?
Really?
Yeah, at the corner of the graveyard, yeah. Young people.
Oh, young girls.
Yeah.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. But, like, definitely what will happen tonight we're playing the dark, or even the day we're playing the dark, it will just attract more people to it. Just for that. Just to cause trouble. Let's be honest. And they might even be at the game. They see what happened there already and they say, yeah, there's a great chance now to cause a bit more shit. So, I can see the cops stepping in on this one, lads.
Well, again, like Richie, we said it a lot of times last week. It becomes a public order issue. It becomes an issue for the guards and not for Drogheda United Football Club, because there's nothing we can do once people step outside that gate and they're on the cross lanes or the Wimmel Road or down as far as the graveyard into the 20s and all that, because that's where a lot of the dog people will park their cars. Well, they might not park their cars now because the cops put out a statement last Friday saying anyone parked on a double yellow or a footpath is getting done. I had to park in Butterbrew. I might as well have walked. I was that far away from the ground, but I wasn't risking it. I think the cops was kind of sticking the oar in there as well, going, right, we're not putting up with any shit from you fuckers. Don't even park your car at the graveyard. You'll be done. You know what I mean? It felt like, Jesus, the boot's been really stuck in here now. And I've never seen a queue. Even going back to the good old days, like the queue was practically around to the graveyard. All the way down. Madness.
Crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts, alright. But you know what, even like just back to the point you're saying this is going to be a cops matter. Like this is, well, like even last Friday week in Oriel, like this wasn't a Drogheda United problem or a Dundalk problem. Like there should have been more cops at that.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I mean, we had 500 people there. Well, was it 500? No, 400, was it?
No,
5, I think, yeah.
5, yeah, over 500 fans down there. Like, probably about 10 or 15 lads caused all this problems.
Yeah.
So, like, how can you blame Drogheda United for that and the other 475 fans, or how can you blame Dundalk? That, it should have been a police issue. Like, they should have been there to control that in the ground.
Like, yeah, there was a good deal there, but they didn't really do that much to stop it. Like,
no, like,
Richie, when you say the cops should have been able to control, do you mean the behaviour of people throwing flares on the pitch in the ground? Like,
yeah, like you see it over in England, like the away fans, and the cops are literally standing in the middle of them, watching, like with them, right? And I know now, and I know it goes back to a health and safety issue. Dave flares in the hand, you can't really go and take it off them, but stand watching them. Somebody lights a flare, he flings it, you grab him when the flare's gone, pull him out of the crowd. Like, this shouldn't be up. This wasn't Drogheda United's problem or Dundalk's problem. You know, well, I wouldn't expect a steward, a normal volunteer, to do this. But the cops should be doing this. Like, they literally need to be in the crowd with us. All away fans, not just Drogheda.
I can see that causing a problem with certain fans as well. They won't like it. That's...
I'll be honest.
I could see it could escalate aggro. That's what...
Yeah.
I do agree it's a good idea, but I do think it could cause more problems as well.
I don't want cops stood in the middle of supporters, man. I know what you're saying, Richie, and again, I don't want to go back over the whole flare issue, but I'm somebody who never really had a massive problem with flares. Like, you know, adding a bit of atmosphere and all that, and I've enjoyed loads of the atmosphere up in United Park, and you know, we've thrown money towards displays and all that over the years through, you know, different outlets, and I've never had a massive problem with flares. I am of the opinion, and this has been echoed again in some of the decent sort of League of Ireland media over the last week or two, people saying if we could have sort of controlled exhibitions or whatever you want to call it, like by the ultras and all that, and there's places to dispose of them. That wasn't the issue up here. People wanted to throw them onto the pitch. So we know that. We've discussed that to death now. There's no point in going over that again. So no. I personally wouldn't. I'd hate to have a cop stood anywhere near me watching a football game. You know, but look, yeah, they didn't deal with it very well on the night, actually, because when it did happen, first of all, they were all gathered together, stood at the corner, right next to the corner flag, and they were barely even looking up. I was watching them, and they didn't think about any. No one gave it a thought. Right, if Drogheda score, what's going to happen? Because if they had that in their heads, they would have come up and they would have stood behind where the ultras were or where the people that were throwing the flares were, and they didn't. They just stood there, and they just stood in the same spot. They done nothing. And apparently they did fuck all outside the ground as well. They arrested there was one person arrested, some Dundalk fan.
That's right. Yeah.
On the night.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
look, yeah. No, definitely. Look, yeah. And I do agree with you, look, we definitely don't want to be going that road with real heavy-handed police games. But going back, we're probably getting off point here. We're on about, like, will Dundalk fans get Drogheda? Like, it's going to need a massive police presence, isn't it? To control it.
Yeah, and it's going to cost a fucking fortune because the club has to pay for all the extra cops.
Yeah, you know. And I just don't think this issue with the flares is going to go away, lads.
No, it's not.
Well, that's a good point, Richie, and I was just about to go on to that. When you look at the pictures from Inchicore on Friday night, my God, man, the amount of flares that were lit. And if that wasn't a statement of intent by Pats fans to say fuck you to the minister, like, and then you had the big banner by Sam McGraw was basically saying fuck you written down. What did it say? This is our life, this is our culture, fuck off. You know what I mean? I thought it was great. I was like, fair play to them, that's class. It was a bit of solidarity, I think, with Drogheda supporters, but like, it isn't going away. And is there going to be any punishment for Pats fans after what they did on Friday?
Yeah,
they might get a fine, I'd say.
Yeah.
Will they?
Well,
they'll probably get a fine.
But nothing out of the ordinary. You'd get a fine anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you get one anyway. You just don't really hear about them because they're not common. But I wouldn't be expecting them to get any bans from away games or anything like that.
No, definitely not.
So
I was just reading stuff then as well, because Rovers played Dundalk then last Monday night after us, and they're all, not a flare in the grade, and look at us, two model clubs, aren't we brilliant? Not a flare between us. I guaranteed you, if nothing happened the Friday night before, both of them sets of fans would have had flares at that game.
Yeah, they would.
It was still fresh. You know what I mean? And then they say the players are going away. Obviously, they can't be throwing them at the pitch, but it is going to happen that somebody will get hurt again from them in the crowd. Somebody drops one or just drops on your mate's head in front of you. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. This problem isn't going away yet. There's going to be more issues with it.
No, but lads, and I don't know how you feel about this, but a lot of people talking about it the other night feel like that we have been severely punished and scapegoated, and that if it was Rovers or Derry, there's no way that them clubs would have been handed a 4-match ban, and that it's because it's Strada and the FAI just all right, let's fucking stick it to them. Do you know what I mean? There's an element of that going on here, but a precedent has been set now that, if there is any incidents at any of these games, and I suppose not just people lighting flares and using flares at games, because we all know that's going to go on. That happens in the fourth division. Small clubs, you might get one or two dickheads with their flares having the crack. Fair play to them, not dickheads, but you know what I mean. So, if Rovers continue to do what they do, and Bows love a flare as well, and obviously Pats do after the other night. Jesus, that was some display by them. And I can guarantee you in a week or two, Dundalk would fall back into using them as well, because as you said, they weren't using them on the Monday night, because I'd say they would have been absolute murders if somebody in the Dundalk crowd lit a flare after what had happened the week before and the abuse that was meted out towards us, and say even Dundalk fans would have been annoyed with them for doing it. But give it a week or two. And also we said it last week too, give it another month. This is all going to die down, and one of the big Dublin clubs is going to end up in Oriel, and some of them are going to have flares with them. And what's going to happen? It's going to be really fun to see what happens. I would not be surprised if some dickhead from one of them clubs decides to throw it on the pitch to see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And you guarantee it'll happen. Well, say what happens if somebody throws a flare at Tallaght Stadium next week onto the grass pitch? Is this now going to be a ban for them as well? Or is it just because it's a national club pitch? So, if a flare enters any pitch in the League of Ireland now, is this going to be a ban for that team?
Well, that's the problem the FAI have now, that they've set a precedent. It shouldn't matter that the pitch is grass or plastic. It's the action, really.
And the crowd that fitted that pitch came out and said last week that the pitch would never go on fire. You know what I mean? Right. Said that.
Kieran Clough said he thought it was unplayable, and yet the Dundalk under-20s and the women's team played over the weekend.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, look, we all know it was that Fine Gael pearl-clutching dickhead that really, really added fuel to the fire here, pardon the pun. But I mean, his reaction was just the most over-the-top shit I've ever seen, and he ought to be ashamed of himself. Other people in his own party and Fianna Fáil came out to completely dismiss what he had said. The Labour, I presume it was the Labour spokesman for sport. I seen the bit on the news, I think it was, having a right pop at him with Jed Nashap beside him. We all know Jed's Strada fan, but he was roaring and shouting at him that there was an anti-football bias going on and all that. So it's not just League of Ireland fans thinking this. It's and I know politicians are going to take every opportunity to have a pop at each other, but there was definitely a narrative in the media as well. A lot of people in the media saying this sounds way over the top, like this collective punishment that's going on. The whole, and when they were talking about collective punishment, they were referring to the, withdrawing funding for the AstroTurfs. I haven't heard a lot of them coming out saying now, oh, what about the sort of collective punishment for Drogheda fans? Because now we're barred from 5 games for the rest of 5 away games for the rest of the season. Is that not collective punishment?
It really is. And if you look at the games apart from the Pats game, it's in Dublin, like Sligo, Derry and Waterford, they are long trips. We wouldn't get a massive crowd going, but you get your real hardcore fans who go home and away and never miss them games, and they're really being punished.
Yeah, there's 2 things there, Richie. I think our away crowds have definitely been up.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people were really looking forward to Sligo. There was a bus being organised from our end. Yeah. There was other people talking about hotels and all that were booked and the whole lot, and they were going to try and get tickets for the home end, because that's always going to happen with football fans. Right, Pats, we would have probably sold out our allocation twice over, no problem, because we always bring a big crowd down there. I don't know why, it's terrible ground to watch a game in, but, and again, this brings another point, and there's a lot of people saying this. Why are these clubs being punished now by not letting away fans go to the games? How does this make any sense? It makes, right, say Pats, for instance, if Pats are running well, they might just sell out them 500 or 400 tickets that they normally give us. They could probably just sell them to home fans and still fill their ground. But as you said, Sligo's not going to do that, because they're not filling the ground anyway. It's a big enough ground. Derry might the same if they're doing well. I think, are they selling out games? I'm not really sure, but they might be able to just give them tickets to home fans as well. So it might not affect them financially, but in theory, it's a very strange thing for the FAI to do, ban away supporters.
Yeah, and that's why I thought the fine would be bigger and the away ban wouldn't be as much.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Right,
but.
It's not the first time we've been banned from an away game either. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah. Away in Rovers.
Yeah.
What was that over again?
I think, did a cartridge of a flare hit a referee, hit the linesman on his foot or something?
Mm.
I think it was up in Oriel, was it? I think it might have been.
Remember.
Mm. Unless maybe that's different, but yeah, I think that's what it was. But,
right.
So it wasn't even our first offence, if you want to call it that.
No.
I thought we might get three games, but 5 is
it's a bit much.
Again, it was always going to be a harsh punishment because, again, what that dickhead of a minister was saying and the overreaction. We were always going to get severely punished.
Yeah. We really are. And just go back to your point, Greg, about this collective punishment. Like, as I said, right, there's 500 fans in Oriel. Like, Charlotte's probably getting around 3,500 at home matches. Maybe not that much, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, they all went there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You're punishing good, genuine Charlotte fans who never miss a home match, right? Mightn't get away matches. That's fine. Not everybody gets away matches. But you're punishing them. Like, and this call as well, people saying, oh, they should have got a home match. That would have been really wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't have a home game with just away fans at it, because there'd be absolute mortars outside.
Yeah, no, it was like, to me, it was a massive overreaction. And then he kept coming out with this thing. He kept saying, he goes, well, for one thing, certainly I won't be paying for it. As if it was his money.
Yeah, we've all paid for it. It's all our money.
Yeah, and he kept saying it. Like, I certainly won't be paying for it. Oh, shit, man.
He just sounds like a fucking proper Fine Gael fucking fascist style prick. I hate the man. I swear to God, if a Fine Gaeler calls to my door during any election, they'll be absolutely ran. I'll get one of them fucking flares and I'll chuck it at him before he gets to me gaff. Fucking dickheads, man. Honestly, I never heard that like it. He's just a disgrace the way he was going on.
Yeah, but you know what? In fairness, now I take it back for on him.
Yeah,
it did.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
I think it did.
He just showed he really did, like, you know, he showed his anti-sort of League of Ireland, his anti-football bias. He really, really did. Every word out of his mouth was disparaging towards us and towards the League of Ireland, like, towards football in Ireland in general, like. And then he comes out and he gives a bit of a speech about how he really thinks that the fucking Israeli team should come and play in Dublin and we should welcome the supporters and that we will welcome them. Is he that delusional that he thinks that Israel are going to come and play a game in Ireland and bring fans with them to Lansdowne Road, to the Aviva? Like, can you imagine the mayhem that will cause?
Yeah, he kept digging a hole, didn't he?
He's nuts.
No, he got it wrong. He got it fucking wrong.
Oh, very wrong.
Completely out of touch with everything.
Yeah, completely. Lads, I suppose just to move off that topic for a moment, we haven't even touched on the game, but I just wanted to say there's been no further development about the Joanna Bourne thing that I've heard. Has anyone, there hasn't been anything, press release or anything, nothing has been said, there's no statements out or anything about that, is that I've missed?
No, it's gone quiet. Maybe it's a good thing, is it?
Yeah, I think that no news is good news on that front.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion? Do you think they're working on it behind the scenes, or do you think a decision has been made and it just hasn't been put out yet? They're waiting until the other shit dies down, or?
It's hard to tell, really. That could be the case, and they might just want to let things die down. But
yeah, stay out of the media for a bit.
Yeah, or if they had enough statements the last week or so. Yeah, who knows, really. But the fact it's gone quiet is probably it. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, in fairness, lads, like, we've used up all our bad press for the whole season.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't even need any more of this drama now with them now for the rest of the season. Sort out in the summer. Sort out next summer. Next year.
Yeah, look, I don't want to have but it has to be mentioned because it's a sort of the elephant in the room as well with what's going on with the football club, and, you know, is her position untenable? Like, can she stay in the role now after what's happened? I don't know, and I know you don't know, but just to mention it and just to throw it out there, I'll be sort of waiting with. It'll be very intriguing as to how they sort of resolve this. You know, they're not very good at putting out statements, I'll tell you that, because the statement they did put out was an absolute load of fucking shite. Like, it was ridiculous. So maybe it's a good thing that they're just sitting back now for a while and just let things sort of blow over for a bit and then release some sort of a neutral statement coming up that doesn't accuse anyone of anything. Say she's moving forward, blah, 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 she's going to do, or she's staying, or whatever it is. But as you said, we just don't need any more fucking drama.
No, definitely we've enough. We're after using it all up now, in my opinion. We just need to get on with the football side of things now.
Yeah, that's a good cue. Anyway, so look, we'll get to the game. Disappointing result, and you'd have to say a fairly disappointing performance overall, lads.
Yeah, I thought the first half we were okay. We weren't brilliant.
Yeah, no, I did, but I just think overall, Richie, we exited that game in the second half. They dominated us.
I mean, Greg, so we never even got out of the dressing room in the second half.
That's not like us.
No, and I think that's what I was more disappointed about, because we let them right back into it, and once they got back into it so early, there was only ever going to be one winner.
What happened?
Don't know. As I said, it's not like us.
Did we just come up against the better side? I know they made some changes in that in the second half, but we just look. They had our number. I mean, physically they matched us as well, and that's a bit of worry.
Yeah, I said that last week with Shels. They are the one team who can do that and play football at the same time. I was actually very impressed with Shels. They look very good this year. They could be the surprise package.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say they were surprised really with the budget and the players they brought in, but there was a lot being made out of the fact that they were missing two centre halves. But
Yeah.
Maybe in the first half it probably might have shown a little bit, but it certainly didn't in the second. And your man went off, didn't he, in the first half? What's his name, Owen? I always stood beside you, the lad they got from Cork.
Yeah, Mbang, yeah.
Mbang, yeah.
He was carrying the knock anyway.
So that's three defenders gone, like.
Yeah, but the fairness, but he brought on fucking Sean Gannon, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great experience. But look, I definitely thought that was a typical draw in the first half. Like, we scored early, we were okay, we weren't brilliant, as I said. It's what we do. But then just to come out straight away in the second half, I was watching the highlights back again today. That fucker always scores against us, doesn't he?
He scored last year,
yeah. Yeah.
Bone,
sorry, Sam Bone, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, what was your overriding feeling when you walked out of the game? Because to me, it just looked like sort of more of the same from a lot of the games that we talked about last year. We just could not get our foot on the ball. And at times we just made them look like fucking Barcelona lads. They were just passing the ball around us at will. They were getting every breaking ball. Every second ball seemed to be going to them. Every time a ball would fucking bounce off somebody, it would go to a Shels player. And it just looked like one of them nights. Every terrible decision that the referee made, and I'm not blaming the ref for us losing the game, but that was one of the worst reffing performances and the linesman that I've seen up there in a long time. It was horrendous.
To be honest, I didn't think we were as bad as you were making out to be. Like, we had a couple of really good chances, and Mark Doyle in particular didn't take them. Again, Dennison didn't have a whole lot of stuff to save. I don't think it's as bad as you're making it out to be honest.
Right, but that's fair. I thought we were okay in the first half, but I just thought in the second half we were overrun.
Yeah, is that just Shelbourne being better than us? Let's be honest about it. Just a better team.
I don't know, Owen. Like when you say that, like you weren't impressed by the performance, were you?
No, it wasn't disheartened either. And actually, you're talking about second half. We'd more the ball second half than we did first half. By a lot.
What, you mean possession-wise?
Yeah, 28% in the first, 49% in the second.
Wow. So the second half was more or less 50-50 for possession?
Possession, yeah. Now, they had more shots. So they had 11, we had 7. But, yeah, that's why it wasn't as... we could have easily got a draw out of that. Like, no arguments with the penalty. I think it was a penalty. Dancing clean out of it. But
yeah,
every other little free kick and everything I thought just went against us.
I was actually, as I said, watching the highlights just before we come on. Like, the pen, alright, he did come in, but like the three of them come in together, Owen. Like, it was Dennison, Boyd. I don't know who was the draw the centre half.
I don't know, Quinn or Boyd, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, like the three of them went in for the one ball, and the keeper and centre half stayed up on the feet, and Boyd flew to the ground. Now, I'm not saying he died or anything, but like, why does Boyd get the decision?
Like, Dennis came out and took him out of it, basically.
Yeah, but is he not entitled to come and clean the ball? Like, Boyd, he
didn't get the ball though.
Yeah, right. I know what you said. But Boyd clattered into Dennison as well. Also,
it always feels like they're coming together. Striker, Richie.
Yeah, I know.
The keeper running out. Boyd's not really running or sprinting towards him. It's the other way around. It's not really going to go the way the keeper.
Yeah, but I just thought, just watching the back, as I said, I thought the three of them went for the ball together, entitled to go for the ball. Boyd just bounced off Dennison. I don't know. Maybe we're just old school, am I?
Yeah, I don't know. Look, Owen as well, right? Just going back to what you're saying there, and I know on the night I did say I think probably a draw was probably a fair result in the game, and nobody could have argued against the draw, I think. But I just a little bit disappointed with the way we kind of set up, and I just felt that the midfield just got completely. It was being bypassed because every time one of the boys tried to put the foot on the ball. There was nobody there to receive the ball. We weren't getting down the wings like we normally do. Conor Kane was just running into a brick wall all night. And it just felt like we ran out of ideas. And it's kind of frustrating because our home record is going to be what makes or breaks us this year. And we go one up against Shels. And you're thinking, right, go on and win this. And then we concede and you're thinking, fuck's sake, just hang on for the point. And then they go and score again. And I mean, their first goal was a stroke of luck. I mean, it did come off the post and then your man comes and taps it in and that from was it. And then the second one obviously is a penalty. So you're kind of going, like, they didn't cut us open. I'm not sure Denison had a really many saves to make in the match and all that. But like, I don't know. I just think we need to have some sort of backup plan and some sort of ideas to take the game to teams a little bit more at home. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm just really disappointed by it, to be honest with you. And it was all we fucking needed, because when we went one up, I was thinking, right, lads, this can sort of really get us back on track with all the negativity that's around and stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't to be. I mean, a lot of teams are going to get beaten with Shels this year because, as you said, Richie, I think they're a decent side, especially when they've got everyone fit. They're going to be right up there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, lads, I would reckon, say the last week or 10 days has took a toll on the team. Would you say that they're feeling the effects of it? Of all the bullshit that was going on?
I'll let you deal with the own.
I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, unless you're in the dressing room, you only really know it. You haven't heard anything or any whispers around that there's been unrest or anything. So
yeah, you can just see it on Doherty's face though as well. The man looks stressed, doesn't he? The last week,
he could be carrying the weight of everything on his shoulders.
And you just wonder, is it filtering through to the team? Look, I could be wrong or right. I'm just saying. Would have something to do with it. It wasn't like us the other night. Like, I thought when we went 1-0 up, I said, right, Shels are really going to have to work hard now to get something out of this game off us, especially at home. But I was so disappointed, like, 2 set plays, like the corner. Well, it was a free kick, wasn't it, for the first goal?
Yeah.
And then, like, fucking the penalty, obviously. As you said, Graham said, they didn't rip us open. They didn't outplay us to score their 2 goals. And it's not like there's easy chances like that. So that was disappointing.
Yeah, I would agree though. It has to filter down in some way. Like if Kev is distracted and he's having a hard time with the whole thing, and look, he did say somewhere last week that he hadn't eaten or slept in 2 days, like because of all the worries. And I'm sure there's a ton of phone calls going on between him and the club.
Yeah.
With the whole Joanna Bourne thing. And then when the shit hit the fan up in Oriel, I'm sure there was a lot more stuff going on in his head over the last while. And can you really concentrate on preparing a team? Like, I know they're all professionals and it's their job, but look, we all know what's going on. If there's something going on in your life, you're going into work, you're showing up all right, and you're doing what you have to do, but you're not really there. You're not concentrating on what you have to do. It's in the back of your mind the whole time. So I'm sure definitely that's the case for Kevin. You'd like to think that players are just going, right, this is a football match, lads. Once we cross that white line, doesn't matter what's going on off the pitch. But that's not life. That's not reality. Things off the pitch will affect your mood. They'll affect how you train and how you eat and how you sleep and all that kind of things. And if any of them were worried, thinking Travella were, reassessing their investment in Drogheda, you're going, shit, this is my job here, like.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. I just think it does filter down a bit.
I think it'd have to.
I think so. Yeah. But, look, we just didn't look ourselves the other night. Look, the second half, I just thought was very uncharacteristic of us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, because I've said it a million times over the last while that, like, we've been, like last year at times we were poor coming out of the traps. In the first half we were poor, but we always kind of made changes and sometimes we came out a different team in the second half. Whereas the other night it was the sort of polar opposite to that. To a degree, it was the polar opposite to that. But as Owen is saying, he disagrees. We had a lot more possession than we did in the first and all that, but we just couldn't do anything with it. Like, which leads me to the sort of fucking golden question a few people mentioned in online as well. Like, we've no striker, lads. Mark Doyle, to me, he looks off it since he's come back.
Yeah,
he's good against Waterford, but the other game's not really doing much.
He hasn't really got back into it, has he?
No.
I'm not writing him off.
No, definitely not writing him off. But it is his job, isn't it, to score goals? He has to score goals. Like that chance, you have to take it. Like, you can't be. I mean, you don't get too many chances in this league in a game.
Yeah,
he had a couple of good chances.
You have to take them, lads, and that is the difference.
Oh, are you getting a chance to watch these back? Have you got an LOI pass around?
I have, yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch this one back, but
right.
Yeah, I do think he had a couple of good chances there. I know there was one on his weaker foot, but he wasn't even close to hitting the target. That was in the first half, I think. Yeah, first half. And then near the end, he got a touch on the ball, the keeper. Then it'd been a free out, but it was close.
Yeah, it could be a problem, lads, couldn't it?
Yeah, you kind of, look, it's small margins. As Owen says, if Doyle scores that, he's on 2 goals out of 4 games, and you're going, right, Doyle's on fire here, you know. It's, you know, it really is a 50-50 thing. And if we win that game the other night, you know, you're on absolute cloud 9. You're still joint top of the league. We're still third, like, after 4 games. So, I mean, you know, there's a silver lining the other night is that Craptown go to Inchicore and get absolutely battered off the pitch. Like, you know, that hasn't happened to us, and that didn't happen to us at all last year either. Well, maybe Rovers, but apart from that. So, and then Waterford go to fucking Derry and go 2 up and get beaten 4-2. I mean, it's crazy league, lads, and I think it's going to be like that all year.
It is, yeah. It's going to be so competitive. So it really is. But it was really good to see Warren Davis doing a good warm up the other night.
Yeah, what's the situation there? Any word? Is he's close anyway?
Yeah, because I said, look, I'm always in early, so he was out on the pitch. He was doing a good bit of running around the pitch before the teams even come out. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, man, we badly miss him, and we need him to sort of we need him to hit the goals like he kind of did at the beginning of last year. He was absolutely brilliant. I know we've said it again. He did tailor off for various reasons towards the end of the year, but if we can get Warren to sort of back to anywhere near where he was at the beginning of last year, we really need that. Like,
yeah, and just have a bit of competition as well for the other two.
Yeah.
You know, because at the minute, like, Doyle and Lou and all they're playing because they probably only have 3 strikers.
How did you feel about Darry when he came on?
I thought he did well.
I did too.
Yeah, same, yeah.
I thought he did well. Like, I know a few lads there on the WhatsApp there. I know there's a bit of slagging on that, but I thought he did well. He definitely did more than Doyle and Lewis we did when he came on. Yeah,
I think for some reason he's going to be a bit of a scapegoat for various people. Every time he comes on the pitch, there's moans going around beside me. Oh, for fuck's sake, here we go, this big donkey. It's because he's big. I think a lot of people just have it in their head that he's a donkey. But I mean, he's got some pace on him. He made one absolutely sort of blistering run up the pitch with the ball. He's got a lot of pace.
Yeah. And he's still young and he's still learning the game. So,
yeah.
No, definitely not. But, yeah, look, just a bit of competition up there now. As I said, the 2 boys know they're going to start every week at the minute once Warren's still injured. So, we get Warren back in and they push each other. And look, all it'll take is 1 or 2 chances, just to take 1 or 2 chances, and it can turn your season.
Yeah, definitely. Couple of other players. Gordon came on again. I mean, he's not getting much of an opportunity to change a game, is he? We were chasing it at that stage.
Still thought he looked alright though. Showed some good
Yeah, he
touches.
does. Yeah, absolutely. Didn't he? He had a chance to, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a shot block maybe.
You know what, lads, as well, you could even try him up front.
Well, he's right. No.
There was talk that he could sort of play in that role as well.
Yeah. Do you feel now for next weekend that we're going to have to maybe try and make a few changes from the off, or is he going to go with the tried and true? You know what Kevin's like. Once he sort of settles on an 11, he will make changes, and he's proved that now. He made 5 in Dundalk, and he made, 3 the other night. So, will we go with the same 11 for the next game?
It could be easier for him to make the changes for next week, the fact we were bet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't be overly surprised if he started Godden.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see him making 1 or 2 changes.
So what's your thoughts on this Saturday going over there with no supporters? Is that going to have a massive detrimental effect as well, or what?
It's always a tricky away for us. Like, can't remember the last time we won over there, so be happy enough if we got to come back with a point. To be honest,
yeah.
I know slowly we're struggling, but they'll get it right eventually.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we have to go and beating them. I don't think I'd be happy with the point, lads.
You wouldn't?
No, I don't think so. I think I'd definitely take a point though, and you know what I mean? We've probably a shit record over there. But for us to kick on, lads, we have to be going beating the likes of Sligo. We have to start turning through these away games into wins. In my opinion.
No, I agree with you, and I'm not sure about us kicking on how much we have kicked on. And I think I said this last week too. Maybe either the glass is half full or it's half empty. It's like, we go to Galway, we didn't play great. We get a last minute winner, which is always amazing. And then I thought we played fairly well against Waterford. We go 2 up early doors and the game kind of looked over. We kind of shut up shop. Like, we were poor enough in Dundalk. I think they were poor as well, and a draw was a fair result. And a draw was probably a fair result the other night, although we go 1 up. So, have we, is there any improvement in us? I know we've a better bench now. We seem to have a bit more depth there. There's lads that come on and do a really good job, but, we're missing a lot. I was going to say we're missing a lot of goals. We're missing a lot of potential goals there with Josh Thomas, because he didn't exactly set the world alight, and he's not exactly setting the world alight up in Derry. But I mean, he missed at least 4 or 5 chances a game, and you were always hoping that he'd just click into gear and start putting them away. Like Freddie Draper didn't score for the first 7 games when he was with us, and then he put 3, 4, 5 away in 2 or 3 weeks, and you're really hoping for that. But I don't know who's going to do that. Who's going to be the man to just all of a sudden just click into gear and start scoring goals? It could be Doyle. Like, please God, it's Alua, because I'd love to see him get on the score sheet. But, are we weaker overall than we were last year?
No, I don't think we are. I think we've a better squad than last year. Stronger bench.
But first 11, are we weaker, or are we the same, or, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't look like we're that much stronger.
I definitely think we're a bit stronger. I think we're definitely capable of playing more football than we were last season. I think we play us in the team.
Yeah.
I think we're showing that a bit in bits and pieces in games that we can play a bit of ball.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of letting them off the leash now, Owen.
Probably is a bit, yeah. Probably if they pick their moments when to do it and stuff. But I think Ian O'Brien's well capable of playing ball.
Yeah, and I just think like next week away to Sligo, I think you have to go winning it, because it's going to be hard to go up to Tala to win. It's going to be hard to win in Dalymount. It's going to be hard to win in Pats, obviously the Dublin teams. I think we need to be going to like Sligo and Waterford now and winning. Like, we've beat Galway away, I know, at the last minute. But I think they're the games we have to start winning them for us to kick on again.
It sounds like you're kind of saying we need to be beating the teams around us. That we're going to be down in and around the Sligos, Galways, and Waterfords and Dundalks. Is that realistic? Like,
Yeah, at the minute there, I mean, look, I know it's early days, but I could see us. Yeah, I could see the likes of Bow, Shels, obviously Rovers, Derry are going to be ahead of us this season, and I think they will be for the whole season. Pats, I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about Pats. I definitely think Droghed's coming in next around that middle section. But them teams are going to be below us, and we have to keep them below us. We have to be beating them.
yeah, no, it's an interesting one. I mean, it's hard to judge. It's hard to judge after 3 or 4 games. I know everyone always says it, it's the cliche. You have to kind of wait till a round is over with. You know, everyone has played everyone once kind of thing. 10, 12 games and it really starts kind of settling in a little bit more than it is now. But Dundalk are definitely not as weak as people thought they would be. Those last minute signings, bringing in the 2 lads from Bowes and your man from Derry and all that has kind of changed people's opinions of where they'll end up. Like, I know that some of the media were creaming themselves about how well they were doing, and then they go and get absolutely hockeyed. And yeah, I haven't heard any of the League of Ireland podcast this week now, as of yet. But, they're definitely, they were being tipped by a lot of pundits to go down, and then a lot of them were starting to change their mind, saying, oh, well, from what I'm seeing, they'll be alright, they won't struggle. Waterford will get pilloried after they played down here, people giving out shite about them. They go 2-0 up above in Derry, and I'm sure a lot of them are kind of changing their minds then, going, oh, maybe we were wrong, and then they go and get beaten 4-2. Galway seemed to have kind of stepped it up. I mean, they were nailed on by the bookies and nailed on by a lot of pundits to be finishing in 10th. It doesn't look like that now after 4 games.
No, and like as I said, Galway will be always hard to play against. They'll be always tough to break down. So, I think we have to be going here next Saturday, not sitting in hoping for draw. We have to go and take the game to them, and they really put a good marker down.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that in theory. It kind of worries me. I know going to Sligo, it hasn't been a happy hunting ground for us for a long time. And when Sligo do get it right, they're very capable of playing some really nice football, especially at home. And just the fact that we've got no supporters there with us at all. Kevin's banned. He got a red card the other night. We've got to mention that. So he'll be watching the game from the stands. There's just a lot of factors that are kind of going against us. So if we went over there and just got a point, played well and got a point, I think I'd be happy.
Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, look, definitely take all them points. But, yeah.
Right, lads, I have to bounce, but I'm going to give a 1-1 prediction. Alua to get off the mark.
Wow. Get to the boogies.
Yeah.
Is he gone already?
No, I'm still here for the second.
Oh, you still there? Go on. I was just going to say, get to the bookies like you did the other night.
Yeah, I'll have to do that bet now and see how we get on.
Right on, go on. Talk to you soon.
Right. Good luck, lads.
Good luck.
Ball goes off on a hot day.
Hey.
He's still there listening. Yeah, look, Richie, I suppose it's as good a time to wrap up as any, but I hear what you're saying. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have said the exact same thing. We need to get over here. We need to get to 3 points. Sligo look like they're very low on confidence at the moment. They lost the Connacht Derby the other night against Galway, and that'll sting. You know what I mean? But they do have a habit of sort of coming back after getting a bit of a battering. But sure, they were hammered. Was it 4-0? Who bet them 4-0? Bowes.
Bowes, yeah.
Bowes played them off the park. And speaking of Bowes played Rovers off the park the other night.
Yeah, they look really good. And look, I'd be talking to a Bowes fan now at work as well in the morning. He said they're all just well up for this season because it's the last season in Dalymount.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they have a lot of motivation. They have a lot of things like a lot of things to play for. So they look really well up for it. But come here, it's a long season. It is a long season. You don't want to come out of the traps too early either. It's a marathon, as you say, not a sprint. So, but they do look good. They do look good.
We know that from last year. Getting a good start is fucking vital, because that's what kept us up around the European spots, because we had such a good start. And we know Rovers come out of the blocks really slowly over the last 3 or 4 years, and they've gone on to win the league 3 times out of the 4 years when they did come out of the blocks really slowly. But they just looked so off it the other night from the highlights and just from reading a few of the match reports, and Bows looked just so up for it, and they just dominated them, and they played way better football than them and created loads of chances. And so you'd have to be kind of, you'd be wary about going to Dalymount. But we will have fans with us in Dalymount, won't we? That's not one of the bands, so that's at least there's that.
Absolutely, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, look, and it is, and get a good start in the season is great. Like, and I reckon they'll come this summer, if Drogheda are pushing now at the right side of the table, I reckon there'll be 1 or 2 more signings coming in.
I think you're right.
I reckon the owners will say, right, we've a chance here to push on, so hopefully, like, as you said, a good start to the season is what you need and to build on it.
Yeah, look, I'm not trying to be sort of negative about the whole thing. It's just always when we come out of a defeat, it just always brings up the sort of negativity about certain players and just about the whole situation going into these games with no away fans and all that. It just kind of worries me a little bit about the wheels kind of coming off a little bit. You know what I mean? But look, we don't know. We'll go to Sligo with a bit. Well, we won't go. The team will go to Sligo on Friday. Yeah. And hopefully we come out on the right side of it. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Hopefully not, but I don't know. I can see us conceding. I don't know why. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and I'll go for a Brandon Kavanagh goal, I think. Yeah,
he played well, didn't he? Last night.
He's a great little player, man.
He's class, yeah. I'm going to go draw to win. I think we're well capable of going down and winning. I'm going to go 2-1 draw to.
Good stuff. Any goal scorers?
I'm going to go boom. I'm going to go Keeley. Keeley likes scoring down there. And Shane Farrell.
Keeley and Farrell. Right, good stuff. So 3 points then, you reckon?
I think so, yeah. I just think we have to start making a few statement wins here. As I said earlier, we have to stop. Not that we do be playing for draws, but you know what I mean. We have to, for us to kick away from this bottom half of this table, we need to be beating these. So
we need to impose ourselves a bit more on the game, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're well capable of it. Well capable.
Get the ball down in the middle between Farrell, Ethan O'Brien and Kavanagh, and just start, doing what we know we can, what we do in small sort of bursts. We did it the other night against Shels. At one point in the second half, there was some brilliant little sort of triangles, and the boys kept possession of the ball, and you're going, right, lads, this is class. Keep at it. And then we sort of reverted to type a little bit where the ball just getting fucking hooped over the top of people's heads and all that. And I understand why. I get it. I know what Kevin's doing. I know what he's trying to do. But it just gets a little frustrating at times, because you think, lads, we can play ball here. Keep the ball on the deck.
Oh, yeah. Try and play. Yeah. And you know what, Greg said? You can do that plus do what we always do, have that physical side as well. You can do a bit of both.
Yeah.
Because I was actually listening to Owen here. He was on, I think it was on them League of Ireland podcast earlier. Yeah. And he was calling Drogheda the Brentford of League of Ireland. He was saying, he said everything Strotter's just corner kicks and throw-ins and the physical, but he said, watch Drogheda, he can play football. He said, there is football in that team. So he was full of praise for us.
Big time. I mean, Stevie Wonder can see that. It's just all the fucking idiots who just want to have a dig the whole time, puke football and all that. Right? That's just bollocks. We know that we're well capable of it. I just don't feel like we do it enough sometimes, and I feel like we take the option sometimes of just that long ball over the top and, blah, blah, blah. But as you said earlier on, I think Shels are a perfectly balanced side. That they can play some lovely, lovely football, but they also mix it up. They long throws, get winning second balls, winning third balls. You know what I mean? They have that physical side to their game as well, the same as us. There's a little bit more football in them, but they definitely mix it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And and that was the word there. They've got the right balance, haven't they?
Yeah, big time.
They have. They really have. Yeah, but look, and I think Jordan can go here and bully Sligo Saturday night. I don't think Sligo are a physical team at all.
No, they don't look it.
No, so I think we can really go and bully them and hope we get the result.
Dave, whatchamacallit, I know I mentioned him a good few times. I think he's class. Your man Jad Hakiki and Ryan Kane and Ryan O'Kane and that. Like, I mean, there's some lovely little silky footballers, and they can hurt you that way. But they just defensively, I think they're really poor, and they just don't have. There's not a massive amount of experience in that side either. I know they've lost a lot of players. They brought back in a player there from Bowes. Was he on loan at Bowes? And he ended up going back to Sligo. I can't remember his name, but
McManus.
Right, Manus. Yeah.
But no, definitely. Like, you could go and now look. I think Olding was massive. Elding was massive.
Elding. He scored again the other day in Scotland.
He did. Yeah. He was definitely there. He was their key man, obviously. You know what I mean? So.
Jesus, I mean, he was dragging that team by the scruff of the neck at times, and he was only 17 or 18. He was a kid.
He really was, yeah. So I don't think they've replaced him.
No, you cost a lot of money to replace him, and they didn't get an awful lot of money for him in the great scheme of things. I think it was 700 grand or something like that. So, but mind you, for a club like Sligo, who's kind of fan owned and relies on the sort of the community to keep them ticking over. I mean, 700 grand's an awful lot of money. You can't turn that down either.
No, absolutely not. But
if that's what it was, I'm not even sure whether it was that much. I have that figure in my head. I don't know why, but
I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, I think it was in and around that. Or maybe I'm wrong. I shouldn't say these things on a podcast because I'm not sure. But it was in and around that. It certainly wasn't.
Wasn't over the million.
No, it certainly wasn't. No, not a chance.
No.
Right, Richie, we leave it there, and I'll be talking to you next week. I'd normally be saying enjoy the game if you're going over, but obviously there's none of us going now. So, where are you going to watch? You going to watch at home?
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't just decided. Yeah, I'd say it'd be good for you and try to watch it in the pubs, wouldn't it?
Well, I was going to say that actually. I don't know why the club doesn't open that new bar and just put a big screen in and make a few quid.
Absolutely, yeah, and people would go up.
It's a Saturday night. I'd go.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Saturday night, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, maybe they will. It's still early in the week, so maybe they will.
Maybe they will. If we get this out Wednesday, one of them might listen to it and think about it.
Yeah. You never know.
All right. No bother, Richie.
Right, Greg, so we'll talk to you.
See you, man. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Good.